What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? It is your girl, your diva, and knowledge, Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Cafe de Paris, where I'm always serving you wisdom, knowledge, and spiritual awareness. Want to welcome y'all to my late night chat. I normally don't do live chats this time of night this late, but as y'all know, me being the profession that I'm in corrections, I'm used to being up this time of night, so it's not really late for me, but it's just late for me as far as doing a live chat. So anyway, I normally don't do this. I don't do this too often, so only once in a blue moon you'll see me come on here late at night doing a late night chat. So anyway, I'm going to go directly into tonight's content. I wanted to talk about these pretend pick me's. The pretend pick me's. What's up to Vegan Doctor? And what's up to, I also see Amari in the chat. What's good? What's popping, Amari? I know it's unusual for me to be this late, but yeah, I decided, what the hell, let me get on. I ain't got nothing else better to do. So I wanted to talk about this particular issue. What's up, Queen of the South? What's up, Queen? How are you doing, ma'am? Yeah, this is one of my late night chats. I haven't been on live this late and I don't know when, but like I said, I don't do it too often, so it's not like it's unusual. Is not a big deal. And then again, because of my profession, I'm used to being up this time of night. Usually I'm up this time of night doing my rounds, checking on inmates and things of that nature, but so I'm used to being up late. So anyway, I want to talk about this particular issue that I've been noticing been going on for a while. What's up to now 3? I want to talk about the fact that there's a high population of pretend pick-me's. There's a high population of pretend pick-me's, especially in the most popular male sector spaces. And it just amazes me how naive and gullible a lot of these men are who pretend to be so masculine. It is just amazing to me that a lot of these men are so glad that they're so glad to be seeking admiration from women that they cannot see past the pretend pick-me's. They just don't know one when one is in their space. And again, it's a high population of pretend pick-me's, and it's very imperative that if you are a male content creator or if you are part of a very dominant or popular male sector, that there's going to be a lot of pretend pick-me's that's going to try to infiltrate the male spaces. And the sad part is a lot of pretend pick-me's have already begun infiltrating these male spaces. And again, I'm just amazed at how many men who claim to be so masculine, who claim to have such high value. It amazes me how a lot of these men are falling for the pretend pick-me's. And what has happened is, I'm noticing ever since Kevin Samuels has gone mainstream and his channel has blown up significantly, I'm noticing all of a suddenly all of these black female content creators who all of a suddenly understand where black men are coming from. All of a suddenly they feel like black women have not been doing their parts as far as being submissive, as far as being good listeners. It just amazes me how all of a suddenly, ever since Mr. Samuels, and this is not to say that I'm a fan or foe of Kevin Samuels' work. I'm not subscribed to him, but at the same time, I'm not a hater. I'm not going against the narratives that he preaches. Hey, if you are a Kevin Samuel subscriber, you respect his craft and what he does. I'm not knocking anybody who follows him or who doesn't follow him, because me personally, I don't follow him, but I don't knock anybody who does. And it is not my job. It's not my place to sit up here and knock somebody else, regardless of how I feel about their narratives, regardless of how I feel about their viewpoints. As a content creator, it's not my job to knock another content creator. It's not my job to tell people don't support this person or don't rock with that person. It's not my job to critique what another content creator does, whether if that content creator is male or female, whether if they are speaking on the things that I agree with or don't disagree with. I don't comment on and I don't believe in criticizing another content creator, because I believe all of us have something that we can add to this space. I just feel like there's no need for it to knock another content creator. There's no need to bash another content creator. I feel like it's enough bread, it's enough out here for everybody to win. So me, I don't get no joy or pleasure out of talking bad or good about another content creator. So again, this is not one of those videos where I'm knocking Kevin Samuels and trying to get people to subscribe or unsubscribe from him, because again, that's not my style. What I'm talking about, so everybody can understand, this has nothing to do with whether you support Kevin Samuels or not. What it has to do with is these pretend pick-me's who are acting as if they are so in favor of the narratives that he preaches, because it's all about trying to win the hearts of the black men, or trying to make black men believe that you have their best interest at heart, when really the truth of the matter is women have reached a space now in which they have seeked a whole nother level of desperation. And I don't expect you men to get it. I don't expect y'all to not be manipulated by these type of women, because one thing I know, men, y'all are easy to manipulate. Why you think the word manipulate starts with man, okay? M-A-N, okay? So it's easy for y'all to be manipulated, all right? Especially when it comes to anything that has a vagina. All right. And it's so easy for these pretend pick-me's to infiltrate, because they really don't have to produce no receipts. They really don't have to prove who they are. These brothers don't even do a background check on these sisters out here. Anybody can get in the male space as long as they, one, agree with the narratives of black men, and two, look pretty. That's all the goddamn qualifications you need to win a space in the male sector. These men who preach about how black women, how we need to be qualified and certified, I see, as much as they have all these high standards for us, yet they're not making these women prove that they have the best interest of men. These females don't have to prove receipts. They don't have to really show themselves. All they have to do is be attractive and be quick to worship and praise their narratives. And do I have a problem with women who co-sign on the things that black male content creators talk about? No, I don't have a problem with women who follow black male content creators, who support male content creators. I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem with the fugazi, the fakeness, the manipulation these women are doing, these chat room groupies who know how to infiltrate the male spaces. Because all they are doing is making these men believe that they are really listening to what they're saying. Amari says, I had the idea for hosting a cherry pie cook-off for single ladies in my neighborhood. Pre-qualification required. There's a male generation solution for promoting wife behavior. Oh, that's very interesting, Amari. Very interesting. Something I never thought about. But yeah, that's very interesting. So I want to go more into this, because I really want a lot of people to really understand where I'm coming from about why men, especially these men who are popular content creators, the ones that are very dominant in the black YouTube sector, these are the ones, the pretend pick-me's are infiltrating these spaces, because at the end of the day, they know all they have to do is stroke the ego of the black male. And a woman could get away with lying. Women are able to get away with lying and making these men believe that these women have are in favor of what they do. And it amazes me how so many men are easily to be manipulated by these pretend pick-me's. And it's very easy for women to get in the good graces of men in the black YouTube sector. Now, I'll admit, when the manosphere first was very hot and heavy in the game, they had such a strong dominant order that women was not able to easily infiltrate. When the panels was strictly male dominated, meaning that the men during that time, their panel was strictly masculine. They did not allow women to infiltrate their spaces. They didn't allow women to get a pass and come in just because they had a pretty profile picture on their avatar, or they was able agreeing with the viewpoints. Women back then, the manosphere made sure these women had a place. And women respected the place of the manosphere. They did not try to get on the panels. They did not try to, do what I call this cyber harlot chasing. A lot of these females back then, I knew because I was a subscriber. I knew to not dare ask for a link to get on the panel. I knew to let the men enjoy their space. And in the meantime, I sit in the background and I just listen and I learn and I observe. But somewhere along the line, as the sector started changing, somewhere along the line, one of the brothers somewhere got thirsty. Somebody somewhere got thirsty, because that's how these women was able to infiltrate. And I would not say it was not the original manosphere team. It was when they started switching up and started letting these young guys in. And I don't know, and I won't even just say that. You had a lot of guys who tried to imitate manosphere points. They tried to imitate the movement. They had these off-brand manosphere sectors, these other group of guys who tried to come together and mimic what men in the manosphere was doing. They tried to mimic the original Godfathers. The men in the manosphere was already holding it down. They had it on lock. The original kings, the original panel, the original manosphere panel, the original Godfathers, the men who started the panel from the beginning. They had structure, they had order. But when they started letting these young dudes in, and when they started letting dudes in that was always seeking female validation, that is when the cost got lost. That is when the cause got lost. And that is when women were slowly but surely able to come in and infiltrate, because you had these young dudes, you had these thirsty dudes, and these female seeking validation dudes that slowly but surely ended up getting membership in the most in the highest male dominated black sector spaces in the YouTube, in the black YouTube sector. And that is what happens when you let people who was not a part of a brand, when you start letting new people come in, and you start letting young people come in, you start letting immature people come in, that is when the game, the dynamic starts to change. And that's basically what happened. And that is how a lot of women have been able to infiltrate. Now, you get a lot of these men, and I'm not knocking all men, I'm just talking about the thirsty brothers, the ones that are always seeking female validation. And these are the same ones who want to preach to other brothers about stop looking for women to validate you. But yet they are doing everything that they are preaching other black men not to do. They're telling the brother, stop looking for female validation. Stop looking for women to approve of you. But these are the same guys that are doing it. And the reason why I know that is because I've been peeping from the clouds, or the skybox, as they would say, and I have been observing how a lot of these pretend pick-me's, you notice that the majority of them started off as regular subscribers. A lot of these pretend pick-me's started off as subscribers. They was basically chat room cheerleaders. We had a lot of pretend pick-me's who started off as chat room cheerleaders in the male-dominated spaces in the Black sector. So what a lot of these women were doing was they started hanging out in the chat rooms, cyber flirting with the men in the panels, with the men on the platform. And you would catch some of these cyber harlots, cyber flirting in the chat room, flirting with the male subscribers, trying to get in good with the male subscribers. Then they go from getting good with the male subscribers. Now they go from that to getting in good with the males on the panels. And then once they get in good with the males on the panels, now they start getting in good with the host, or the whoever owns the platform, whoever owns the channel, because usually once you get in good with the brothers in the panel, slowly but surely you will get the attention of the content creator who is over that platform, who is over that channel. All you have to do is just continuously to be a chat room cheerleader. And that is how a lot of these women have infiltrated these male spaces, by being chat room cheerleaders. Basically, co-signing on all of the points that the men are making. And which a lot of you guys are not understanding. A lot of these women aren't agreeing because they're not co-signing because they really agree with your viewpoints. A lot of these cyber harlots, these chat room cheerleaders, a lot of them, they don't really agree with the narratives that y'all are speaking on. If you really think about it, how many women, the majority of women, genuinely going to really believe your oppositions when it comes to the opposite sex? The majority of these women do not agree with what men say. However, if they understand that if they want to be accepted into these male spaces, if they want a place in these popular male dominated spaces, if they want a space, they know they cannot go against the grain. They cannot buck the narratives that the content creator is preaching. So it's pretty much like this. If you want to join a certain team, even if you don't agree with everything that team is doing, you know that if you were to go against what that team is in favor of, they're not going to accept you. They're not going to let you in. It's no different than you trying out to be on a certain football team or a certain basketball team. You may see that that team has a lot of things out of order. Like, you may not care for the fact that they got this certain person being defense, or they got this certain person, being a quarterback. You may not agree with it, but because you want to get on that team, you're going to pretend. It's called fake it till you make it. You're going to go with the flow and pretend you agree with the way they got things set up, knowing you really don't care for the way they got the structure. But because you want to get in, and because you want to be accepted, and because you want to get a place in that space, you will go along with the shenanigans and act like you agree, or act like you're willing to go with the way things are orchestrated. And that's what a lot of women are doing. A lot of these pretend pick-me's know they don't agree with half of the things that men like Kevin Samuels say. They don't agree. They really don't agree with it. Now, I'm not saying they should agree, and I'm not saying they shouldn't agree with what he speaks on. That's their personal business. But what I'm saying is, a lot of these females have gone into this high population of the pretend pick me mode because they want to be accepted. Y'all have to realize it's hard for women out here to really get attention. It's getting harder and harder for women to get attention. And what has happened is women have reached a new low level of desperation, meaning if I have to pretend I like what a man says for him to accept me, for him to give me a position in his kingdom, in his channel, then that's what I'm gonna do. Because the truth is, a lot of these women, they say they agree with these men viewpoints, they say they understand, they say they don't have a problem with it, but the truth is, a lot of them have an issue with it. But if they have to fake the phone and pretend that they agree with these male content creators to get in, that's what a lot of these females are doing. And that's what that term pretend pick me comes from, is that I really don't believe in none of what these Negroes are saying. I don't believe that I need to be submissive, but guess what? I'm going to pretend to be submissive. If that's what it takes for me to get in there, yeah, I really don't agree that me as a woman, I need to be a good listener, but I would pretend to be a good listener if that's what it's going to take for men to notice me and for me to get attention and for me to get accepted in certain spaces. That's what I'm going to do. So what has happened is females, a lot of these women, these females in the Black YouTube sector, they have found the secret ingredient in order, and they have discovered the secret ingredient to get men to accept them in these male dominated spaces. They have figured out the key ingredient to get acceptance in these Black male dominated spaces, to get a position on the panels, to get a wrench in a chat room. The secret ingredient, and again, it amazes me how all these men who claim to be so masculine and supposed to be so more and so intelligent, and they don't seek female validation. These women have found out the key ingredient to getting accepted in the male-dominated spaces. And the key ingredient is to stroke the male ego. That's all the majority of these pretend pick-me's are doing. They have learned to stroke the male ego. They have learned to basically agree to pretend. They have learned to pretend to agree to the viewpoints, because again, they know if they were to go in these male dominated spaces and say, well, I don't agree with that, or I don't think you know what you're talking about, don't be talking about Black women like that. These sisters know, the majority of these women know that if they were to go against the grain, they will be casted out and sent to the pits of hell. My wife doesn't agree with some of the points I made, but then I show her sisters made some of the same decisions and she thinks twice. For sure. Absolutely. So what a lot of these pretend pick-me's are doing now is a lot of these women, first for one, what a lot of you men are not understanding is a lot of these women out here are catching hell to get a man to even take them serious. It is hard for women out here to even get a man, because for one, a lot of women have made bad choices in which men don't consider them as women of value. It's a lot of sisters out here that have made bad choices. Doesn't make them bad people, but they have made bad choices. And thanks to the Black YouTube sector, the choices of Black women are standing out even more so. Failures are being even more manifested now, because there's so many brothers that are content creators that are constantly speaking against Black women. So what's going on now is you have a lot of sisters who can't catch a break when it comes to dating, especially if they are single mothers, because y'all know they bash single mothers day in and day out. So the majority of men who watch YouTube, who follow these channels, who are anti-Black women, a lot of these Black women out here, they can't catch a break. Now, I'm not saying this because I want y'all to sympathize with Black women or give Black women the benefit of a doubt. What I'm trying to tell y'all is that is why a lot of these women are automatically going into pretend pick-me mode. Because what's up, Jamar, Pennymon? Because a lot of them know that the choices that they have made them the most unselected choice of black women. Think about it. The majority of these women, because not just black, but it's the majority of us. The majority of us are not fitting the standards that a lot of these black male content creators are telling black men to stay away from. A lot of these sisters are not fitting that mold. For one, a lot of these content creators are telling a lot of these these successful dating coaches are telling black men stay away from single mothers. So if you're a single mother, you're automatically on the bottom of the totem pole. They are also telling, preaching, these dating coaches, these experts are also telling black men to stay away from women over the age of 40. So if you're over the age of 40, that's another strike against you. So we ain't got to go through all the shenanigans of that, but y'all get what I'm saying. So a lot of women already know they're not qualified because the black YouTube sector is steady preaching against what type of black woman you should avoid. So a lot of sisters already know they're not in the percentage of being the catch. If that's the best word I could say, of being the catch. So what a lot of women who aren't the catch, those who know they're not qualified, who know they don't fit that status of what the high value man should be seeking, a lot of these women who know they don't qualify and they would never measure up in that department, what they're doing now is they're pretending to be pick-me's, meaning that I know I'm a single mom. I know I'm over 40 and I hit the wall. I know, you know what I mean, that I'm on my third, fourth marriage, whatever bad qualities that will make them non-selected as far as the high value man status. What a lot of these women are doing now, they're trying to kiss up to the men by making them think that they are everything that a black man could desire to have. So they have to pretend to be submissive. They have to pretend to be good listeners. They have to pretend to have all of these qualities, which they really don't have, but they have to pretend that they have those qualities because that is the only way they feel any man is going to notice them. They have to pretend to be something they're not. And you have a lot of these pretend pick-me's that are up here hanging out in the most dominant male spaces, the popular male spaces that are really popping right now, the spaces that are getting a lot of views and a lot of subscribers. A lot of these pretend pick-me's or chat room groupies, they are hanging out in these spaces because they're trying to earn validation from men because they know the qualities that they have. Most men aren't going to choose them. And most of these pretend pick-me's, honestly, most of these pretend pick-me's are everything that these dating coaches are preaching black men to stay away from. I'm going to repeat that again for those who didn't catch it. Most of these pretend pick-me's are everything that these dating coaches are preaching and teaching black men to avoid. Most of these pretend pick-me's are single mothers. It's a lot of them I know who hang out in these male-dominated spaces. Now, why would they want to hang out in places where they know most of the content is against men showing interest in women who have that type of level of baggage and responsibility? It amazes me how many women that are single mothers want to hang out in spaces where men are teaching other men to stay away from single mothers. But what it is you have these women, they think that if they put on this pretend pick-me persona, that is going to give them a chance. They feel that if they put on this pretend pick-me persona, that it gives them a chance, that they have a chance of winning the interest of a man of value. They think all I have to do is I got to pretend. If I just pretend to be submissive, I pretend to be caring, I pretend to agree with all of the viewpoints, then they're going to think I'm different. They're going to see I'm not like these other black women out here, that I don't think like other black women, that I don't act like other black women. You have a lot of these pretend pick-me's that are infiltrating the man spaces, and they're doing that by pretending to be something they're not. Now, all of a suddenly, ever since, like I said, ever since Kevin Samuels, his channel has grown significantly, and I'm not knocking that or celebrating it. I'm neither one. I have no feelings for it or against it. All of a sudden, all of these women now want to come out, and they're trying to use this man's name to get recognition and validation. And that's the only part that's irking me with a lot of these sisters, because every time I go on YouTube, I have all kind of people. What's up, Cut to the Chase TV? I'm starting to notice all of these women, all of a sudden, everybody wants to do content agreeing to Kevin Samuels. All of these women that were never content creators, that were not even known, all of these women now all of a sudden want to upload videos by putting Kevin Samuels' name in it. And I'm like, y'all are not fooling anybody. Y'all may be fooling these brothers who believe that y'all really learning from Kevin Samuels. Y'all want to fool these brothers who y'all think are is going to give you props because you follow Kevin Samuels or you admire his narratives. But the truth is, a lot of these women, they're only they're using his name in their titles. They're saying they agree with Kevin Samuels' narratives, not because they agree. They're trying to earn validation from men who do actually respect what Kevin Samuels does, and who actually admire and appreciate what he does. So it's kind of like, if you want to get in with the popular kids, and you want the popular guy to notice you, you want the popular jock, or you want the popular basketball player, you want the popular guy to notice you. How you get in good with him, you're not going to be able to just go directly to the popular guy and get his attention. You got to get in good with those who affiliate with him. Okay, you may have to get in with his ugly friends, that's not that good looking, but you got to get through them in order to get to the prize, which is the popular guy. And I'm starting to notice a lot of these women, they're not really listening to what Kevin Samuels is saying. They're doing this content. What they're doing, a lot of them are doing, all of a sudden, they have started channels. They're doing videos, uploading videos. I agree with Kevin Samuels. I trust what Kevin Samuels say. I believe what Kevin Samuels said. And a lot of it is a bunch of bull. They don't care nothing about what he's talking about. They don't care nothing about the message or the content or the knowledge he's sharing. They don't care about that. What has happened is, a lot of these women have gotten so desperate. They so badly want to get in with, they want to get close to the prize. So what a lot of these women are doing now is they have fallen into the pretend pick me mode, where they have to make other men who do respect Kevin Samuels, they have to make these men believe that they really listen to his principles, that they really adopt his knowledge. That way those same guys could go back and tell Kevin, you know what, I was checking out this sister so-and-so got her channel over here. She's rocking for you. See, she's listening to brothers like you. See, she's a real sister. A lot of these females, I'm like this. If you wasn't already speaking about speaking on those narratives before Kevin Samuel got as big as he got, if you wasn't already uploading content, if you didn't already have a channel, if you didn't already have a platform where you already spoke on black women bettering themselves over black women not being ratchet, if you wasn't already putting yourself out there, speaking on these principles, for you to want to do it now because you see this as an opportunity for you to keep acknowledging him, saying that you can adopt his fans or adopt his subscribers based on the fact that you are making brothers believe that you rock with Kevin Samuels, that you support Kevin Samuels, is nothing but a manipulative strategy to make men believe that you have the best interests of men. And it amazes me how many of these men are falling for it. All you have to do, all women got to do now is up here and lie and say, "Oh, I agree with what Kevin Samuels say." Y'all already in her chat room praising her. Y'all already in the chat room giving her a standing ovation. See, that's a real sister. See, she ain't hating like these other black women are. She ain't hating. Let me tell you something. Just because somebody's supporting you, you think somebody can't support you and hate on you at the same time? You know how many people show up to your goddamn wedding and don't even like your ass? You know how many people show up to your damn party and eat your ribs and eat your potato salad and don't even want to be there, but they just coming just to be nosy? And it amazes me how so many men are caping for these pretend pick-me's who act like they are really learning from Kevin Samuels. They're not learning nothing. But what they're trying to do is they're trying to get close to the prize. They feel like if they have enough of brothers who believe that they respect, that she respects Kevin Samuels, she feels like that is going to give her, that key to be able to get close enough to where he is. It's nothing but straight, it's straight capping. It's caping. It's caping to the fullest. And a lot of these sisters are doing it. I see women over the age of 40, who all of a sudden got so much to say to black women about what type of black men they should choose, on how black women need to better themselves. I know a woman who's over the age of 40 right now. She had the audacity to do a video talking about how she agrees with Kevin Samuel's viewpoints. Now, like I said, I don't have a problem with any woman agreeing with their viewpoints. But my thing is, lady, you are over 40. You done hit the wall. Why you ain't been started doing content, speaking to young women and talking to young women about not making choices that will make them hit the wall so soon? And to me, it's a lot of sisters out here being deceitful. They claim, they respect what these brothers are saying, that they listen to what these brothers are saying, that they respect what these brothers are saying, and it's straight caping. These females don't believe none of what they telling y'all. And it amazes me how gullible a lot of these men are. Y'all quick to give them a standing ovation. See, that's a real sister. See, she listens to Kevin Samuel. She respects Kevin Samuel. Well, at least the woman who doesn't, she's being honest about it. She ain't lying. I would rather somebody be brutally honest than somebody to be artificial and act like it's sincere. A lot of these females are doing caping content because they want black men to subscribe to their channel, so these followers can basically show her the same love that Kevin Samuels is getting. Exactly, Amari. Everybody around Kevin. Yeah, and you're right, Jason. You're right, Jason. And my thing is, I'm not knocking who follows Kevin Samuels. I'm not knocking who supports or who cash apps. That's their personal business. But what I'm saying is, I can read in between the lines, and a lot of these females, they're doing what's called, it's a lot of they're doing what I call cyber harlot caping. It's a lot of cyber harlot caping going on with these women in the sector. What's up, Brittany Hun? How you doing? Appreciate you for coming in. A lot of these women, they don't mean well. If you meant well, for one, you can always tell. The signs are obvious when a female is caping and when a female is really trying to learn from a man. It's a difference when a woman is trying to cape off a man's success or she's trying to learn from his success. Now, one of the biggest things is What if, one of the biggest obvious signs that a lot of men are overlooking is that you can always tell when a female is caping due to the fact that she's always agreeing with all of your viewpoints. Now, really think about it. What black woman, no, let's not even say black woman. What woman do you know? I know we got some married men in these chat rooms. What woman do you know will agree on every single last of your viewpoints? I've been married for 21 years. I have not agreed on everything my husband has ever said. So the first red flag where you can tell a lot of these sisters are caping for the wrong reasons is when they agree on everything a man says. The thing is, if you meet somebody that's a yes person, you automatically should know they phony. Nobody, I don't care if they're your mom or your sister or brother, the average person should not always be agreeing with everything you say. If you're agreeing with everything I say, it shows me that somewhere you are phony, because as a human being, you should be able to have your own mind. You should be able to have your own ideologies. And even if you disagree with me, as long as you're disagreeing with me respectfully, it will not make me perceive you as a person that's just a hater. You just have your own perspective. So the biggest red flag a lot of these brothers are overlooking, and why they can't, and what's giving these women the room to infiltrate in these male dominated spaces, is they think women who agree with the majority of their viewpoints are for them, and that's a lie. There's no woman on this planet that's going to agree with 95% of everything a man says. If she's agreeing with everything you say, the bitch is phony. I'ma just call it for what it is. The bitch is phony. I'm not with that coming to America. What do you like to eat? Whatever you like. Whatever you like. Where would you like to go? Wherever you would like to go. Okay, well, what is your favorite food? Whatever your favorite food is. Okay, well, what do you like to do? Whatever you like to do. I'm telling you, men, I'm telling you guys, if you have women in your space that's agreeing to everything, the bitch is fake. Sorry, not sorry. The only thing a woman can learn from a man is how to rob someone, how to beat up on someone, and how to not love someone. What's up, Caramel baby? If you got a whatever you like, if somebody's is a yes man or a yes woman, they automatically phony. Cause as a human being, as much as y'all listen to my content, I can't expect y'all to agree with the majority of everything I say. You may be like, okay, Mocha, I agree with that, but that part I don't agree with. So for all of you men that are content creators, the biggest sign that you're dealing with a pretend pick me is a bitch who agrees with every fucking thing you say. Cause you know it's not in a woman's nature to agree with everything a man says. You know it. If you got a wife, hell, if y'all got daughters, a lot of you men out here, y'all got daughters. Your daughter don't believe that, she don't agree with everything you say, and you her damn daddy. Your damn 2-year-old saying, daddy, I'm not eating that. You can't even get your 2-year-old daughter to eat everything you put in her face. That's just the nature of a woman. We naturally disagree for the hell of it. So when you have a female in your chat and your pat room, yes, you're right. Yes, I agree. Yes. She doing that to get you comfortable, where you can feel like, damn, I got a real one. I got a real woman on my team. I'm gonna have to give this woman a space on my team, because she's for the brothers. She's for the brothers. She down with the brothers. She agree everything. She agreeing with everything? Something wrong with that. For instance, I had a dude, I never forget, before I got married, I was talking to this guy, me and him was dating. And you know, in the beginning of dating, you're basically being a salesperson. You're trying to sell yourself, you know. And I remember this guy told me he was from New York, right? Because first I told him, he asked me, because I had my northern accent then. I don't have it as much as I do now because I've been in the South for a long time. My accent, he said, you know what, you must be from up north because you got that northern accent. And I said, yeah, you know, I was raised up there, military brat for like 7 years. So he was like, yeah, I'm from New York too, right? So I said, oh, okay. So I'm like, okay, this is a plus. Me and him got a little something in common. He knows something about New York. Now, I just got this vibe from him that he was being artificial because he acted way too excited when I told him I was from New York, where I was raised in New York. So he acted like he won a point. So to elevate it, to elevate, to really, like, you know, to see where this dude was coming from, I started naming all the streets in New York that didn't even exist. And don't you know, this fool said, yeah, I know where that street is. I said, yeah, I used to stay off of Thompson Street in Queens Boulevard. I was making up street names and this dude was agreeing with it. I said, well, do you know what such and such street is? Or are you from? I made up a borough, because you know how New York has different boroughs. How you have the Bronx, you have Brooklyn, you know, you have Jamaica, Queens, have these different boroughs. I made up a borough name that I knew didn't even exist. And this dude said, oh, yeah, I got people from there. And I'm like, I knew dude was phony because he was agreeing with too much. He was agreeing with shit I was making up. That's how bad it was. And it's all a plot. A lot of these women will agree with you because that is her way of earning that membership into the dominant male spaces. She knows that if she wants to get in, she has to make you believe she's for you, that she has your best interest. She wants to get in. Exactly. That's her way of exercising power. Like Amari said, she is planning to bury you in her backyard, like Caramel Baby says. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this out. Anytime you have a woman who agrees on all your viewpoints, she's full of shit. It's not in a woman's nature to agree with everything a man says. All you men who have wives, I know y'all can relate. It's not in our nature. If we do agree with everything you're saying, it's because we have a motive. We know in order to get to that Nobel Peace Prize, we have to agree to the bullshit to make you comfortable, to make you believe that we have your best interest. So that's the first thing. This is how you know you're dealing with sisters that are cyber harlot caping, when she's agreeing with everything you say. That's the biggest red flag. The second, what a lot of male content creators aren't paying attention to, is that these pretend pick-me's, you got to be aware of the ones. Be aware of the ones that are always defending you when you are beefing with female subscribers or beefing with female content creators. Anytime you have a woman that don't even know you from a can of paint, don't even know the female you beefing with on YouTube, on, you know, in the black sector, anytime she's quick to defend you and she's not your woman, she's not your wife, y'all not together. Anytime you have these cyber harlots or these pretend pick-me's These cyber concubines, these panel prostitutes who are so quick to jump to your defense anytime you beefing with another female, that's already a second red flag. That you are dealing with a pretend pick me. Why is she defending you so hard? Why? This is a woman that you never, y'all don't have a relationship. You not claiming her as your woman. She not claiming you. Why is she so ride or die? What is her motive? Anytime you have a woman in the male space, anytime you have a female in the male dominant space, she's always intervening in your beefs with other women. That's her way of trying to prove her loyalty to you. This pretend pick me wants you to believe that she has your best interest. She has become that female pit bull who you can sick on any female who you feel disrespects you in your panel or in your chat room. She's like your female guard dog. You have a lot of these pretend pick me's. They are female guard dogs in these male dominated spaces because they want the man to believe I'm all for you. I got your back. Any woman who disrespects you, I'm gonna put her in check. And you know what? You men so dumb, y'all will fall for it. Oh, she's for the black men. She's for the brothers. She's for the brothers. A real woman, she's not going to let drama escalate on your panel. If anything, she'll try to bring it down. If she has your best interest, if she has your best, if she does not want, last thing she wants to do is bring chaos to your panel or your channel. So anytime you have a pretend pick me in the black male sector, beefing with other females just because this female says something out the way in the chat room, just because this female says something out the way in the panel, she's beefing with her because she wants to prove her loyalty to you. That's not being a woman about it. That's another drama queen that's eventually going to cause you to lose your platform. Because what she's doing is she's not trying to de-escalate drama. She's trying to increase drama. And because you're a man and you dumb and you think because she's ride or die for you, you will let disrespect slide because of your mind. You really believe this pretend pick me has your channel's best interest. You think she's really all for you. Yes, pretend pick me causes chaos. That's exactly what I'm saying, queen. A lot of you dudes, a lot of you dating coaches, dating expert, you male content creators, you letting these cyber harlots, because you feel like they for you, you allowing them to attack women in your space who don't agree with your viewpoints. That's childish. But in your mind, you feel like a man because you got your attack dog who is beefing with other females on your panel, beefing with females in your chat room, because the moment a female says, well, I disagree with him, I don't believe in that, here comes your cyber harlot attack dog. Well, you can get out of here. You ain't welcome here. You ain't this, you ain't that. What's up, Underrated Darkness? How you doing? Good to see you this evening. Welcome to the panel, to the channel. Appreciate you for dropping by, showing love. No, there's no female. Anytime you get a female in these male-dominated spaces that's always attacking other females, she's doing that because she wants these male content creators to believe, I got your back. I'm not going to let none of these women come up in here. Well, really, it's not about you. She's trying to make sure that no other cyber harlots take her space. You have a lot of these pretend pick-me's who will defend these brothers in the male-dominated spaces, not because she cares about him, not because she has his back. She wants to make sure no other cyber harlot wins the male content creator over, because that is what she's trying to do. She don't want no cyber harlot wants another cyber harlot taking a spotlight. That's kind of like, every sister has had that girlfriend, like you and your girlfriend, y'all go out to the club or something like that. And back in my clubbing days anyway, I haven't clubbed in years, but you know how back in the day, you and your homegirl, both y'all have y'all eye on the same guy. He looking good to both of y'all, and you don't tell your girlfriend, hey, yo, this dude over there is looking good, man. Girl, I got to rush that. I got to push up on that. Dude looking good, and you letting your girl know that you gonna make your move, right? This helpful sitting up here co-signing with you. Yeah, girl, he do look good now. He is fine. I mean, brother got those waves. Them waves is just a swimming, and that fade. Oh, good. So you up here telling this boy you about to push up on this dude. So your homegirl tells you, well, girl, while you hollering at him, I'm gonna go to the bathroom right quick. I'm gonna go tinkle right quick. You thinking she going to the bathroom, she up here pushing up on a dude that you told her you was going to try to holler at him. You have a lot of cyber harlots in these male dominated spaces. They try to do a lot of cyber cock blocking. What's up, Double C? You have a lot of these pretend pick-me's. They're doing this cyber cock blocking. Mm-hmm. A pretend pick me could always spot another pretend pick me. So a lot of these pretend pick me's, they want to be the only ones to get the spotlight. And the moment another cyber harlot enters that male space, that the cyber harlots, they all become a threat to one another, because it's all about who can get close to the popular content creator. For instance, if you're hanging out with some girlfriends or whatever, and you and your girlfriends, y'all out, and you and her, y'all walk past this truck full of guys, and you can tell the truck belongs to a company. You want to get close to the guy who owns the company. You don't want to talk to the guys who working for the boss. You want to holler at the boss. And what a lot of these pretend pick me's are doing now, they're doing a lot of cyber harlot caping, because they want to win the interest of the popular content creators. Now, I'm gonna say this respectfully without being disrespectful. I'm gonna try to say this as respectful as I can, without calling anybody out, without being messy. But just to be honest, the majority of the men that are content creators, not that I'm Beyonce, not that I'm this drop dead gorgeous, but frankly, a lot of the men in these, a lot of the most popular, the male content creators that have a large fan base, that have a large view, that have a large platform, the majority of them are not that attractive. What makes them attractive is the fact that they are dominating in the Black YouTube sector. And that is why a lot of these females are rushing in on these dudes. They're being a chat room groupies. They hanging out in the chat rooms. They're trying to get close to the dominant male content creator, because again, that is what's going to help their channel to grow. That is what's going to help them get put on. They know if they get in good with the popular male content creator, they get in good enough to get a shout out, where these male content creators are saying, go subscribe to Mocha. Go subscribe. Big shout out to my girl Mocha. Shout out, stop. Make sure y'all subscribe to Mocha's channel. A lot of these females, they know that in order to get in good, to get that shout out, to get that love, that they basically have to prove that they have some sense of loyalty, even if it's not artificial. And that's what a lot of these pretend pick-me's are doing. So that's the second thing that a lot of these men have to be aware of when it comes, these content creators, when it comes to these pretend pick-me's, that basically, that's what they're going to do. They're going to be attack dogs. They're going to be your guard dogs. They're going to cause beef with other females in your chat room who you may not get along with. They may beef with females who don't agree with your viewpoints. They would intentionally beef with other females just to prove their loyalty. Now, you have some pretend pick-me's. Not only would they beef with females in your chat room that don't agree with your viewpoints, not only would they beef with females who you may invite on your platform who may want to debate and argue with you, they will also debate with other content creators. They will beef with other content creators who you don't get along with. In other words, the pretend pick-me, she will try to help you fight your battles. She wants to help you fight your battles. If you're battling with this content creator over here, she's doing content about content creators who you don't get along with. Or she's talking bad about female content creators who you don't get along with. Anything is called fake love, in the words of Drake. You have a lot of these cyber harlot, these chat room concubines. They are showing a lot of these brothers fake love. They up here stroking y'all ego by agreeing with your viewpoints, attacking other women. All of this to make you think, oh, she's really for the brothers. This is another red flag, how you can tell a pretend pick-me it does not have your best interest when it comes to your content. When she wants to be on your panel just as much as men. Anytime, I'm not trying to be funny. No woman should want to be in the company of too many men all the time. Anytime you meet a woman who's always in the male space, who's always on the panel where there's a bunch of men, red flag. Red flag that she's does not have your best interest. Because me personally, I'm not always trying to be in the company of men all the time. These women who claim to be so beautiful, why are they always on your panel? Why are they always in your chat room? These women who are so beautiful, who so gorgeous, they so beautiful, they got so much time to give you all their time. If they that damn fine, they that damn gorgeous, or they got a man who's checking for them, no real man ain't gonna let his woman be on the panel 24 hours a day with a bunch of goddamn dudes. Anytime you have a female who's always in the company of men on panels, that's a big red flag. I've seen women who've claimed to be married. I've seen women who put up all these beautiful profile pictures. If you're that beautiful, shouldn't you have a man somewhere that's going to have a problem with you constantly being on panels with other men? Me personally, I'm a married woman. I cannot be, you're not going to catch me on panels day in and day out with a bunch of men. Because I know eventually, even though it's online, my husband is going to have a problem with the fact that I'm giving men online more attention than I give him. A lot of these pretend pick-me's, some of these women, let me tell some of you men something, a secret that y'all don't know. Some of these women will pretend they are married. So you will think that if another man desires them, that she's worth giving a space in the male space and in the dominant male spaces. I bet a lot of you men didn't know that. Did you? Because think about it. If she tells you she's single, you're going to feel like 9 times out of 10, something must be wrong with her. So you have a lot of single women in the Black YouTube sector that will lie and tell these content creators that they are married, they engaged, they got a fiance. A lot of these women don't have nobody, but they will lie and make you believe they married. They will make you believe they're in a relationship because they know 9 times out of 10, you have women who feel like this. You have women who feel like if a man thinks they're in a relationship or if a man believes that they belong to somebody, that she has value. And it's sad, but a lot of women, you have a lot of women in these sectors, they're not going to be transparent. They're going to make other people believe they got somebody, when the truth of the matter is they don't have anyone. Because there's no way a married woman or a woman that's in a relationship should constantly be in the company of other men. This is how you know pretend pick me. Pretend pick me, she's not always trying to be the center of attention by being in the company of men all the time. Now, if your panel is a mixture and you have men and women, then that's different. But if the majority of your panel is always men and she's the only one there, that already lets you know what her motives are. You bring a female guest on there, she's talking slick out the mouth to other females that you bring on the panel. She's trying to embarrass them or say little slick, disrespectful shit, Or women, she noticed some females in the chat room get more attention more than her. She's lying and saying all kind of stuff, you know what I'm saying, to try to get you to kick them out. All of this is straight pick me. This is cyber harlot caping. You have a lot of cyber harlots. These pretend pick-me's. These cyber concubines. These panel prostitutes. That's all they do is look for a new male space to infiltrate. And the truth is, some of them done got castrated out of male spaces for being so damn messy. Because the brothers who got sense, they catch on that some of these cyber harlots is full of shit. See, some of you men are so happy to have a woman in your space, you overlook a lot of the fuck girl shit she does. Like you have fuck boy shit. You have a lot of females that do fuck girl shit. You so happy to have a woman in your space that agrees with everything you saying. You ain't looking at the manipulative shit she's doing. You're not looking at how she's disrespecting other men. This is another thing. A biggest problem in these male sectors is, when has it become normal for women to disrespect other men in front of men? Why is that so normal now? Why are so many brothers letting females disrespect other men in their space? Now, one thing I will say, now, if you have a panel, the majority of them are women, I guarantee you a brother not going to be able to come over there in a women's dominated space and cuss out another sister, and the other sister's going to sit down and let that slide. Now, it's a lot of things that women don't stick together on. It's a lot of things where women, we don't always support each other. But I guarantee you, if a man was to go into a female dominated space with a bunch of sisters and he was to get out of pocket and cuss them out, all them sisters gonna join in and cuss them out. A lot of you men, y'all not doing that. Y'all letting other women come in your space and disrespect other men. And you think that's not gonna come back on you? You let a woman get that comfortable with disrespecting other men in your space because you feel like she got your back. But what you're not understanding is, a lot of you men that are content creators, you're not understanding. When you let these female cyber harlots have a space and it gets to the point to where they disrespect other men and you don't check them for that because you so badly want her to be a part of your team. You wouldn't let her disrespect you. You disrespect other men on in your space. It's going to come back on you. It's only a matter of time. It's unfortunate, but some women, and I ain't gonna say all women, some women, when you give them too much leeway, some of these women, when you give them too much power, too much of a say-so in the male-dominated sector, she's going to forget her place as a woman. Now, if you have a female-friendly panel where there's a mixture of men and women all the time, then it's not that critical in those spaces. But if the majority of your space is male-dominated, why are you allowing a female to dictate your platform, your channel, by disrespecting other men? And some of these dudes are so thirsty for female validation, they will let females come in dominant male spaces and disrespect other men. To me personally, I feel like when there are men that are beefing with each other, that is not a woman's place to get caught up in men beef. It's not a woman's place to infiltrate in any male beef, in any men that have that have a conflict of interest. Unless she's your wife or your girlfriend, she should not be allowed to fight your battles with other men, even if she's defending you. I'm not going to lie. I have peeped in the bushes and checked out some of these male panels and platforms, and when I see two guys are beefing with each other and they going at it, and then a female, because she's close to the hostess or because she's on the team with the guys, she feel like she can involve herself, she can implant herself in these battles with men. And I'm like, okay, sis, you way out of pocket. But guess what? Because the hostess, the man who's over that channel, if he's not saying anything, if he's not letting her know, no, this is a man's thing, I don't mind you being a part of my team, being a part of my platform, but when you see me and other brothers beefing, I don't need you fighting my panels. Some of these men are so thirsty for female validation, they will let other women fight their battles with men. I've seen it all the time. All the time. I'm like, how you gonna let this woman cuss out another man? That's your battle. But again, you have a lot of guys, you have a lot of men, their self-esteem is becoming just as low as the black women they talk about. You have a lot of brothers in this sector, they don't have any confidence, they don't have any high self-esteem. That's why the moment or pretend pick me shows them any attention, they melting like a bag of M&Ms on a hot summer's day, because they so glad to be getting attention. Because the truth is, some of these guys, they don't get attention in real life from other women. So the moment a cyber harlot strokes their ego on YouTube, in the chat room, on the panel, they become so enthused with it to the point to where they don't even see or notice that the woman who they gave a position in their platform, they have become blinded to the fact that she's disrespecting other men. And that shouldn't be. That should not be. Not if you claim to be so masculine. How are you supposed to have a masculine platform, a masculine channel, but you letting females come over there and they running the show? How you have women, how you allowing other women to overtalk other men, to disrespect other brothers on your panel, to debate with other brothers on your panel? There's a time and a place for everything. It's been times I have been invited, men have offered me links to their panels. But when I see it's a lot of men up there and there's no females, I'm not joining in. I don't feel like I have a space when the majority of the panel has testosterone. If there's not no estrogen on there, there's not at least one other female, I'm not going in no space with no 6-7 men on the panel. But again, some of these cyber harlots are so thirsty. They want so badly to seek validation from male dominated spaces. They would go in these spaces knowing the majority of these channels have more men than women. Because it's about earning the likes of the men. And again, you men are slow. Y'all simple. Y'all don't pick up on that. And another thing is you have a lot. This is the biggest problem. You also have an issue with, again, I will say this. I don't have an issue with men who want to date outside of their race. I don't have an issue with black men who want to date white women, who want to date European women, who want to date Puerto Rican women. I think everybody has the right to choose who they want to love. I don't care if you a black man and you're into black men, or you a black woman and you only want to date black women. Do you and live your best life. You got to do what makes you happy. But my problem when it comes to the black male sector spaces is that y'all give non-colored women too much praises due to the fact that she is willing to co-sign all of your bashing points about black women. And she's not a black woman. For one, she has no right to me. Non-colored women, in a sense, they really don't have a right to co-sign or not co-sign with black men when it comes to speaking on black women, because they cannot identify with the struggles of being a black woman because they're not a black woman. No more than I would not respect a non-colored man who has so much negative perceptions about black men. First of all, if you're a white man, you're a Puerto Rican man, you're a European man, an Asian man, you don't know the struggles of black men to be opinionating on black men. Now, it's one thing when you have your opinions or suggestions, but it's in a respectful manner, But the problem is, what has happened in the black YouTube sector is you have so many men who resent black women. And I'm not going to say that black women aren't guilty of it, because black women are just as guilty as black men in the YouTube sector. I would not say that it's one doing more than the other. You have both black men and black women that are really doing each other in, who are putting each other down. Both are guilty in the sector. But my problem is you have so many, I'm just on one topic because I'm talking in relation to what these black male content creators are doing. You have some of these men who have become very successful in their platform, and they know based on their views and the growth of their channel that most of their subscribers admire or respect the content that they teach. The problem is when you have this amount of power, but you over abuse it or you use it the wrong way. I should say that to say this. These successful content creators that are black men who cannot stand black women, and they preach this on a daily. They teach this, they preach this. Again, I don't have a problem with men who are not into black women or men who do content against black women. Do your thing, because you got black women who do it as well. But when you allow non-colored women to come in these spaces and also express their hate for black women, all of that is so that you can feel better about not hating black women by yourself. My thing is, if you're going to hate black women, hate them on your own. You don't have to get women of other color to also co-sign and cheerlead and help you hate black women. If you don't like black women, you don't want to date black women, you don't want to be with black women, that is fine. But You don't allow women of other races to come in and bash other black women because she cannot relate to the struggles of black women. She's only going on, for one, she's never even dated black women. A white woman, Puerto Rican woman, they never even, unless they've been lesbian, and even then they really cannot give an opinion too much on black women, because what's going to happen is they're only going to give opinions based on what they hear about black women from black men. Unless she has dated one herself, she don't need to be giving no opinion. No more than I would not allow a white man or Puerto Rican man to come on my channel and talk about how black men ain't shit. I'm not going to allow that, because for one, he probably most of the time never even been in the presence of black men. He's only going to make his assessment based on what he's learning from me by just being around me and listening to my content. He's going to make his assessments about black men based on what he's learning from me. And a lot of these content creators, these black male content creators, when y'all let these women of other races come in your space and give their opinion on something, and your mind, you thinking that she's agreeing with your points because she's all for you. She's not for you. What non-colored women have learned is, if I want this black man to think that I really support him, if I want this black man to believe that I really have his best interest, if I want this black man to believe that I'm really rocking for him, if I want this black man to believe that I'm ride or die and I support him, I have to pretend to go along with his ideologies about black women. Because think about it. She can't go off of any other ideologies because, for one, she's not a black woman. For two, she hasn't been with black women. And three, she's probably never been in the presence of black women. So she's only agreeing with your assessments because your assessments is all that she knows. Amar says, I wonder how many of these men that run these panels are married. The majority of them aren't married. Or some of them are married, but they're not even married to women within their own race. That's why it's so easy to dispel that hate for a specific group of women, because you don't even deal with them kind of women. No different than a black woman who probably doesn't even have a black man, but she has so much opinion. She has so much to say. She ain't been in a relationship with a black man long enough. She hasn't been married to one black man long enough to have a full assessment on what a black man is. She's only going to have assessments based on her personal experiences, based on the experiences of other bitter black women who she's probably friends with, or the black bitter woman who probably raised her. She's going to make her assessments based on what she's been exposed to, because the majority of content creators, we cannot give y'all overall knowledge on everything. We can only give y'all knowledge based on our own personal encounters. No matter what a lot of these brothers in the black sector say about black women, not all of them have dated all black women. They're only giving you assessments based on the black women who wanted them or who never wanted them. What's up, Raw L and Miss Sassy Diva? That's why you have to be careful with who you get your knowledge from, who content you're listening to, because the truth be told, everybody's not going to give you the right assessments. People are giving you assessments based on their own personal experiences. Because I don't care how many dating coaches we have in the black YouTube sector. A lot of these dating coaches have not been married to a black woman long enough to let you know what it's like being married to a black woman. Some of these dating coaches on marriage number 2, marriage number 4, marriage number 5. What can they tell you about being married to a black woman? What can they tell you about being married to a black man? A lot of them can't give you that answer, but these are the people y'all are listening to. These are the people who content you respect, and these people ain't got no real receipts. You got these dating coaches that are appointing themselves to be something that they're not qualified to be. Unless you can show me some receipts, unless you've been married for a long time, you can't tell me about marriage. People who ain't been married a long time can't tell me about marriage. You're on your third, fourth wife, or third, fourth, fifth husband, you can't tell me nothing. You never been a parent. You can't tell me how to be a parent. Never had a child, never gave birth to a child. You can't tell me how to raise a child. A lot of y'all are getting advice from people who really don't specialize in that area. They have no solid receipts to show you, I've been in this long enough where I know I can give you thorough advice. A lot of people are not specialized in giving you the content that they give you. What it is, YouTube has given people easy access to appoint themselves to be something. Anybody can come up with their own channel tomorrow and say, I'm going to become a marriage expert. And they ain't got to pull out no receipts. They ain't got to show they got a marriage certificate. They ain't got to show they got a marriage license. YouTube, anybody can be anything they want to be on YouTube. That's why it's called social media. It's a place to be social. You could pretend to be something you're not. You could pretend you have knowledge in this area. You could pretend you have wisdom in this area. And as long as you know how to dress well and play the part, people buy into it. That's what Derek Jackson did. Derek Jackson had been selling women for years, that he knows he's giving women all these false hopes that they are queens and they get any man they want, and no matter how much baggage or drama or chaos they got in their life, they are entitled to have a good man. He gave a lot of these women false hopes. Now some of these brothers are getting false hopes. Even the broke ones are being told they have value. You got broke brothers around here walking around with their nose up in the air like they have value. You got bums around here thinking they have value, because what it is, people is listening to content and they're interpreting it the way they want to interpret it. The content could not be for them. The content could not be about them. But what has happened in the Black community is you have a lot of these dating coaches, Black female content creators and Black male content creators, that have given people who think like they think false hope that they are entitled to get in a certain type of Black man, to get in a certain type of Black woman. And the truth is, we are setting people up for failure because we're lying and telling people you're a high value man, or telling Black women you're a queen when you're really a peasant. It's a lot of Black men and Black women who are in denial because they're taking the message that is being shared through YouTube and they're interpreting it the way they want to interpret it. So when Derek Jackson was giving this advice about Black women are queens, you had these peasant heifers and these ratchet ass broads around here believing they was really queens because they took Derek Jackson message and they interpreted it in their mind and made it fit for them. And now you got these broke brothers that are broke, busted, and disgusted because they listening to all Kevin Samuels content, which he's right, but these broke brothers of now, they thinking they have value and they're not. Because as content creators, we have to be brutally honest. You can't just pick on one side. You got to tell both sides what really qualifies them to be that queen or that high value man, because you got people around here qualifying themselves because dating coaches are only picking on a certain breed. You in other words, if I'm up here and I'm giving content to Black women, I'm telling Black women, you're a queen, you deserve to have a good man, you deserve to have I'm up here telling all of these Black women this. Do you realize the majority, the Black women are listening to my content, all of them are not queens. So I also have to let the peasants know that they are peasants. I can't just keep sitting up here, all of you are queens. Black women, we deserve to be treated like queens. I also have to let the peasants know they're peasant. Because if not, I'm going to have 80% of Black women walking around here thinking they're queens when they're not. And that's the problem. You have a lot of dating coaches. They're so busy bashing one particular gender that is giving the other gender, even those that are below the totem pole, is giving them this false sense of confidence that they are entitled to get in a certain type of Black woman or a certain type of Black man. What's up, Raw L? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, Scorpio brother? Zillion young ladies are complaining that Black males in their age don't want them. Why many Black male Zillions say these young Females got attitudes and all putting up with it. Yeah. A lot of that. She's been taught to operate off of bald bitterness. Yeah, and it's a lot of bald bitterness. And what I'm starting to sense, Rael, it's a lot of borrowed bitterness. It's a lot of borrowed bitterness from the Black community in general. It's starting to reflect on both sides, because for the longest, I just looked at it like it was only women that are adopting bitterness. But now that a lot of these male dating coaches are coming out, now the bitterness is also starting to reflect a lot with the men as well. So it's starting to reflect a lot on both sides. And I just think the Black community in general is just bitter altogether. You have Black women that are bitter, because again, you have the older generation, the grandmothers, the great grandmothers, the aunts, who did not have successful marriages, who did not have successful relationships. They pass down those same bitter character traits to the younger women in the generation, instead of them really being transparent and letting these young Black women understand that, look, don't make the choices I did. I'm on my third, fourth marriage. I'm on my third, fourth baby daddy. You don't need to follow my traits. Yeah, so I think it's a lot. I think the Black community as a whole is just steady passing down their bitterness to generation after generation and generation, and it's becoming a generational curse. You have broken Black men that are passing down their brokenness to other young Black men, and you have Black women that are passing down their bitterness to younger Black women. So I just think I think the Black community as a whole is the rejected community and the bitter, broken community. I just think as a whole, we all have been damaged in some form or another. And damage doesn't necessarily mean that it don't have to be nothing extreme. Damage is damage. You don't have to be molested to be damaged. You don't have to be raped to be damaged. We thinking damage. When we hear the word damage, we automatically want to associate that with a woman. We think only women are damaged. And that is such a big myth in the Black community. We automatically want to associate the word damage with a woman. And the truth is, it goes both ways. You have some men who are also damaged. You don't have to just be raped and physically abused to be damaged. You could be damaged just off the fact that you didn't have a father in your home that raised you how to be a man. And your mother put a lot of responsibilities on you as a young boy to be the man of the house. That's damaging, because as a young man, you should have been able to enjoy your youth as a child. You shouldn't have to take on the role of being a father, being a man of the house, because your father wasn't there. So it's so many levels of damage. So I just think the Black community as a whole, we're bitter, we're broken. And the problem is too, the biggest problem is we do not respect one another, period, point blank. When I listen to these other sectors, I do not hear white women go in on white men like Black women go in on Black men. I don't hear white men going in on their white women like Black men going in on their Black women. We're damaged individuals who are going to continue to keep damaging one another. As the saying goes, hurt people hurt people. So until all of us get our own individual psychiatric help, till we get our own spiritual healing, till we do some real soul searching, we're going to continue doing just what we're doing. We're going to continue to keep dragging and bashing each other. That's what we're going to do, because what you have to realize, hate makes people feel powerful. You feel like if you hate something, that gives you empowerment. Because once you hate something, once you have already programmed yourself to hate a certain group of people, basically that makes you gain a certain level of confidence once you have decided that you're going to resent that particular group of people. Like I said, I don't hear no race go in on each other the way black people do. I don't hear white men up here talking about how they white women they want to be dark so they go and get tans, how they white women are getting lipos getting lip enhancements because they want to get thick lips like sisters. I don't hear them trash and bash each other like black men do black women. I don't hear white women on their panels talking about white guys are deadbeats. They're white men are deadbeats. I just never see other races disrespect each other the way that we do. I just don't never see it. And it's sad, but we all are comfortable. We're comfortable with dragging each other. The majority, anywhere you go in the black YouTube sector, that's all you're gonna see. All you're gonna see is black men bashing black women and black women bashing black men. The majority of content creators, they're going to do one or the other. Either their whole content is about how black men are garbage, or their whole content is about how black women are thoughts, how black women are fake and they don't have any confidence in themselves. When really, the truth of the matter is, it's not just a black woman issue. Black women are not the only women who have low self-esteem. You got white women. I know women of all races that are changing things about themselves. You have women of all races getting surgeries done on their bodies. They're getting breast enhancements. They're getting liposuctions. You have white women, they don't like their pale skin. You know, they go and get tanned regularly. They want to have darker skin. You know, I had a white friend. She would get tans regularly every week. She would always go to a tan shop. She did not like her white pale skin. You got these Kim Kardashians who trying to get their rear ends, you know, built like sisters, you know. All women, we're always, it's that saying that you always want something that you can't have. You got women with flat butts that are jealous of women with big butts. You got women with long hair that's jealous of women with, women with short hair jealous of women with long hair. We always wanting something that somebody else's has. That's just a woman thing. That's not a black woman or a white woman thing. All women in general, all women. Because I know some white women who have spent thousands on surgeries. Thousands. To get their butts bigger, to get their to get breast enhancements. That's not a black woman thing or a white woman thing. It's a woman with low confidence thing. That's what it boils down to. You know what I'm saying? So we can't sit up here and just say all black men are deadbeats. I know some white men who ain't paid no child support, who also don't have a relationship with their children. Black people, we love to group one another. We love to associate each other with something negative. All black women are fake. They don't wear their own hair. They don't wear. It's unfortunate, but you know, it's a lot of women who got hair. Where it's not just bald-headed women who don't have hair that will weave. It's women who got their own hair, got plenty of hair. They too lazy to do their own hair, so they rather just buy a wig. They rather just get hair pieces. And you got white women that's rocking hair extensions as well. But because white women have always been known to have hair, many brothers ain't gonna speak on that, because when they think of weave, they want to automatically associate with black women. But this is the sad part. I've known women who have gotten all this weave and surgery done. Black women, white women still turn around and a millionaire husband divorce them and leave them for something younger. When women are finding out the hard way that being real and being beautiful is not making a man appreciate you no more than a woman who wears her own hair, who's never had surgery done to her body. So you can do all of these physical changes to your body. you whether you wear your natural hair or extensions. I've known women who worn their own hair and still get cheated on, who still got beat on, who still got disrespected. um I've known men who stopped dating black women to go on the other side, find out it's not all what they thought it was. Now they dating sisters. I mean, it really boils down to this. You cannot follow up behind the standards of man. And when I say man, I'm meaning men and women. You cannot follow up behind the standards of the world. You have to do what is best for you. You have people up here telling you as a black man, you don't need to deal with black women. You find you a woman that's good for you. You cannot go on with these dating coaches say. People will mess you up because people are giving you standards that are unrealistic. And same thing as a woman. You have women up here telling you don't need to take these type of brothers. You need to date outside your race. You need to date other men of other colors. I mean, black men date other women and date other women. So as a black woman, you shouldn't be just sticking with them. You need to go and explore your options. And I agree with that. I think everybody should explore their options, but at the same time, what a lot of people are not understanding is that everybody else standards does not mean it's going to suit yours. You may have other women up here telling you need to date a millionaire, you need to date a man that's going to help you secure the bag, but that I realistically, you may never get that kind of man. It don't matter how you could buy all the dating coaches you want. You can listen to all the YouTube dating coaches you want. You could buy the books. You could buy the coffee mugs. You could buy the t-shirt. As a black man, you probably being told you need to date this type of black woman. That don't mean you gonna get that type of black woman, and that doesn't mean you deserve that type of black woman. You have a lot of dating coaches that are setting these YouTube dating coaches that are setting black women and black men up for failure. Setting them up for failure. Like you had Derek Jackson up here telling black women they deserve to be treated like queens, but he ain't treating his own wife like a queen. And when the truth came out about him and he got exposed and it hit the fan, you had a lot of these brothers, they had a field day because they already hated the fact that he was uplifting sisters. They already hated that. So the moment when he got exposed, they felt like, okay, black women, y'all get another L. Y'all thought y'all had somebody that was for y'all, and he ain't even treating his own wife right. Or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, he was telling some truth, but at the same time, he was not living what he was preaching. And you have a lot of these dating coaches out here, they're not living what they are preaching. It's all about entertaining and profiting off of the minds of those that are weak, profiting off of those that need validation. I ain't trying to be funny, but as a black man or a black woman, you should not be seeking advice from anybody on YouTube as far as what kind of man or what kind of woman you should get. Nobody on YouTube, you should not be calling in a nobody show for them to rate you as a man or a woman, because regardless of what that person says, you have a man out there, he wouldn't mind a 5. There's a man out there, he wouldn't mind a 5. You got some men that ain't looking for 10s. You got some men, they want a solid 5. Or you got some men, they fine with a 7. And same thing, you got some women out here, they fine with 2s, they fine with 4s. You got people that are working with 6 and 7s and 8s, because these days it's hard to get a 10. There's you're very rarely going to meet 10s in this day and age, because the truth is, there's so many black men and black women out here who got issues. And I'm still waiting on that moment for somebody to call in and be told you're a 10. See, you is what qualifies as the perfect woman, or you is what qualifies as a 10. I don't think anybody will ever get a 10, because it's just too many people that got issues. I got issues. We all have issues. So I know I'm not a 10, and it got nothing to do with my looks. It got everything to do with the fact that there are things that I have to work on, and I still have my own imperfections, and I still have my own struggles. But I know I've been digressing, but it's really my whole overall point was these pretend pick-me's. You have a lot of women that are cyber harlot capping. They're saying the right things and making these men believe that they have the best interests of black men. They have the best interests of men. They're manipulating men into thinking that They are really listening to them, that they're really taking their advice. And the truth is, a lot of these sisters, they're not listening to anything. They're pretending, they're going with the flow. And it's not just sisters. Now you have a lot of these non-colored women. They also getting in male spaces, especially now because they're playing on the fact that they know a lot of these brothers really don't care for sisters. So you have a lot of non-colored women that are getting a bigger advantage in infiltrating in these male spaces. So again, because they got two pluses: for one, they're not black women, and for two, they are co-signing on all of the narratives that black men feel about black women. So it's a lot of cyber harlot caping going on. And it's just really sad that a lot of these dudes, y'all not catching on to it. Y'all not seeing these women caping too hard for you. It's something wrong with that, because as I mentioned earlier, what's up, L Cool J? As I said earlier, there's no woman on this planet Earth that's going to agree 100% with what a man says. It's not in a woman's nature to agree with what a man says. So if you have a woman in the male space that's agreeing with 90% of what you say, she got a motive. I agree, Amari. The real issue is we have mental culture. Exactly. And I believe that, Amari. Amari says we only complain about that because we actually desire our women. And that's what it is. It's a lot of butthurt people in the black community. It's a lot of black men who have been rejected by black women, and they're still angry with the black women who rejected them. So now that they're in a space where they are making money or they are successful, now they want to get back. Now they want to retaliate and lash out and take it out on all the sisters for the black women who rejected them when they were in poverty. And you also have sisters who doing the same thing. You have a lot of sisters who were rejected by the black men who they desired to be with. You have a lot of sisters that faced rejection and got denied by a man who they desired. So, um, continuous years of rejection from men now has given them this stigma that all black men are no good or all black men are not worth pursuing. And it's only because they have had multiple encounters of rejection from black men. And what happens is anytime you have had too much rejection from a specific group, you feel safe by basically not having anything to do with the group. Avoiding the group altogether is what gives you that safe haven. If I've had multiple encounters of negative experiences with black men, my safety net is going to be just stay away from black men. That's going to be my safety net. That's going to become my defense mechanism, because this black man dogged me, then this one over here mistreated me, then this one over here abused me. Now my safe haven is going to be stay away from black men. So what I'm going to do, date other men outside my race. Then I find out, oh wow, it's issues on that side too. I dated a white guy, found out it's issues with that. His family didn't accept me. Society gave me a hard, difficult time. You get on the other side, everybody is so quick to resent a certain group of people based on personal negative encounters, and then you try to play it safe by going to the other side, and you find out ain't no safe over there. Dr. Dre thought what his ex-wife Michelle A was the one that he felt. Dr. Dre felt like Michelle A ruined him, which, she wasn't all a woman she could have been. She stepped out on him for Suge Knight, all this other stuff. We heard her story, but got with another woman of another race and found out it's difficulties over there. She's supposed to be getting 800 million out of him. You think you get on the other side, it ain't all what you thought it was. You think because you gave up on this race, you go over there, you exempt from challenges? Rael says the truth is, though, black men don't have to care anymore. Many of these men don't care. They recognize there are black Americans and the emotional arguments aren't working anymore. When black women get the chance to come from under the leadership of black men, once welfare became husband and daddy for black women, they took the deal. Well, black men are going to take a better deal. And exactly. I just think people have gotten to a point now to where I think black men and black women in general have just given up. Black women found a safe haven by depending on the system and making us, having a system to replace husbands and a system to replace fathers. And I think men have gotten to a point now in which they've already accepted that some of these sisters out here are going to be stuck in their ways. They're not going to be willing to submit. They're not going to be willing to humble themselves, so it's just gotten to a point now in which black men and black women are, for the most part, most of them have given up on each other. But I will say this: YouTube is a very small world. Just because that's all we hear, it does not mean that that is all there is, because I know black men and black women that are still going strong, that have solid marriages, that got businesses together. I know black men and black women who own properties and equities. So just because that is all you hear on YouTube is a very small spectrum. Do not let any of these dating coaches on this YouTube make y'all feel that based on the content and statistics they're giving you, that is facts, because it is not. I know many black men and black women who got businesses, who have been married for over 30 plus years. I know plenty of black men and black women who got 2-parent households. So you can't believe the hype, because the truth of the matter is people, they're not focusing on the positivity in the black community, because think about it. Positive content on the black community is not going to sell, and y'all know this. If I was to sit up here and do content on positive things within the black community, half of the people wouldn't even be in here listening right now. The black men and black women, we are programmed to listen to negativity. We find it entertaining when we see black men disrespecting black women disrespecting black men. That's what gets the most views. Is this black coaching, is this black bashing culture that's getting the most recognition. And just because that's all you see, that don't mean that's all there is. Think about it. Some of us grew up in poverty. Some of us probably was born and raised in the projects, was born and raised in the ghetto. And if you didn't have parents that didn't help you to explore, they didn't drive you in the nicest neighborhoods and didn't drive you to other parts of the world, if you didn't see anything else other than the projects, guess what? You're going to think the projects is all there is. When the truth is, just because that's the only thing you've known, or that was the only thing, the environment that you was exposed to, that does not mean that's all there is. So that's why I'm telling y'all, we can't follow behind these dating coaches, because I'm telling you, it's a lot of black people out here doing the darn thing. You still got black men that are marrying black women. You still got black women that are marrying black men. You have children, black children, that are being born and raised in 2-parent households. I know, because I'm one of them. Me and my husband raised my daughter together from the day she came out of my womb. So all of this stuff in YouTube that you're hearing, I know that's all you hear, but that don't mean that's all there is. You got black men and you got black women out here that are doing the darn thing. They got businesses, they building empires, but you're never going to know that, because content creators ain't going to talk about that. Controversy, negativity, and drama sells. That's what people want to hear. Yeah, Rael, give me the name of those books that you was telling me about. I had one of the subscribers reach out to me, and they wanted to know the name of the books that you said you were reading. So if you can give me the name of those books so I could pass that information on, that would be awesome. And I'm glad you have a lot of guys, you have a lot of black men and black women who are educating themselves. You cannot let YouTube educate you. on black men and black women. Educate yourself, start reading books, do your own research. Do not make any of these other content creators out here your teachers. Don't make us your college professors. Because the truth is, we all have our own demons that we are still struggling with. So you don't need to be idolizing nobody in these YouTube streets thinking we all got the answers. Because none of us on here are your savior. Educate yourself. Black women, you can learn more about black men if you start reading books. Start reading books on the culture and the psyche of black men. You can learn a lot more if you learn to educate yourself. And the same thing with black men. You can learn a whole lot about black women if you start you everything really is reading. Reading. Black people don't like to read. We don't like to read books. We'll open a laptop and we'll log in to YouTube and listen to what these dating coaches got to say first. You would rather learn about black women by listening to these dating coaches on here. And half of them ain't been with a black woman long enough to tell you how to keep one, how to get one, and how to stay with one. And same thing. You have a lot of sisters on here listening to the Bitter Sisterhood Committee. You can't learn nothing about men listening to black women who have never been married, who haven't had fathers in their lives. They're only going to give you advice based on their own bitter standpoint. As black men and black women, you got to educate yourselves, because the truth is, a lot of us, we're misleading each other. We're giving each other false information. The truth is, a lot of us, we're not trying to educate. We're trying to entertain. The black community does not want to be educated. The black community wants to be entertained. We want somebody who wants to make us laugh. We want somebody that's going to make us feel good. We want somebody that's going to pick on the opposite sex so we don't have to face our own faults and flaws. The problem with the black community is we want what's called fast food knowledge. And you know what fast food is? The black community, we want fast food. We want fast food. We want something that's going to fill us up for the moment, but it's not going to nurture us. It's not going to bring us no real nutrition. And the problem with the black community is that y'all are listening to a lot of fast food content. It is not nutritional. Because think about it. Even when you listen to the majority of these dating coaches, these female content creators, these male content creators, you walk away, you still feel empty. Yeah, you got a good laugh and it was entertaining and it's fun to listen to the opposite sex bash the opposite sex, but you're not getting fed. Write down these books. Okay, yeah, I'm writing down these books that Rael will ever good enough narcissistic. Okay, I'm writing down these books because I had a female consecrator I had a female subscriber came in and she was like, I want to know more books about that brother was telling us about. And I knew they was talking about Rael. So I'm going to get these titles and pass it down to the sister who was asking about these books, who can't love daughters. Okay, hate you don't understand. Hate you don't leave understanding personality. Okay, let me write that down. Hate you don't leave understanding. And thank you, Rael, for sharing these books, because I'm glad that you have brothers like yourself who are educating your own self. You're not allowing me or any of these other dating coaches to educate you. And that's the problem with black folks. We need to stop being lazy. All of your answers is not in YouTube. I know it's easy to power up the laptop and to log in on YouTube because we have our smartphones with us all the time. And we just rather listen to people on YouTube. If you're going to listen to anybody on YouTube, let it just be for entertainment purposes only. Don't take none of what these dating coaches, these YouTube dating content creator experts, just have, learn what to take in and learn what to leave out. Because a lot of y'all are just too gung-ho, y'all too die hard for a lot of these content creators that don't really specialize in giving that advice that they're giving. So you got to be mindful of that. Learn to educate yourself, get you some books, do your research. Black people, we don't like to read. I'm guilty of that myself. I'm guilty. I don't like to read. I'm trying to get in the habit of reading because social media is really clogging up the mindset of people. I promise you. Social media is becoming like poison. What's up, Red Mike Radio? The Black Man's Guide to Understand the Black Woman. Is that a good book? Yeah, I definitely, yeah. If y'all got any good books, please let me know, because I am at some point, I am going to do a little social media detox. Because I really want to get back into the simple things. I want to get back into reading. I want to get back into the things that kept my mind stimulated. I just think social media it is just becoming so toxic. It's becoming so toxic right now. And I just really think it's like I said, it's like fast food. Like, Burger King, McDonald's, it'll fill you up for the moment, but it's really unhealthy. It's unhealthy, and it's not really nutritional. So social media, especially the Black YouTube sector, is so unnutritional. We're not really giving content that's edifying. The majority of the content that most Black content creators are doing, most of it is negative. It's not really feeding you. It's not nurturing you. So I would advise, don't become too consumed with social media that you um that you lose focus from the simple things. Like I said, as simple as reading, taking a walk in the park, spending time with your family, spending time with your friends. I understand this social media is very addicting, but I'm trying to also wean myself off of that as well. But furthermore, before I get ready to shut things down, I do have my show coming up on June 16th called The Melanated Minds Matter, where I'm going to be doing a segment for Black men, talking about the therapeutic side of Black men being able to share their internal struggles, their psychological issues. We're going to be discussing things of that nature, and I'm going to have like 5-6 other guys on the panel with me, because I don't think they have a therapeutic space for Black men, where men can really let down their guard and really be transparent. I don't think there's too many spaces where Black men could really be transparent and share their internal struggles without being considered a simp, without being considered as weak, without being considered as masculine, non-masculine. Because let's face it, a lot of these content creators, a lot of Black men can't really be transparent with these guys, because they will make a mockery out of a man being genuine about his personal struggles and his personal mental issues. And I think men need a space where they can let down their guard and not be judged and not be made a mockery of without being attacked, their masculinity not being attacked, because they're willing to be a little bit emotional. They're willing to be a little bit more forthcoming. So anyway, I got my first show coming up June 16th, in which I'm going to have a panel with 5-6 other men, and we're going to basically be talking about therapeutic sessions with, specifically with men and for men. Now, I also have my channel, Mocha's Ladies Lounge. That's my space specifically for women, where I'm going to be uploading more content over there for women as well. So we just need more of a space where Black people can basically let down their guard, you know what I mean, and not have to feel like they're going to be attacked or judged or ridiculed, because it's sad. A lot of these male content creators, they're not really giving men that type of space where they can really be therapeutic. But anyway, that's something I decided I want to do, especially since the death of DMX. That's what made me start this segment. So I'm going to be doing it over here. It's not going to be a separate channel. So y'all can mark your calendars for June 16th. As I see it's progressing, I'm going to be adding more men into that space as well, because I definitely think that there's not enough brothers that are coming together to try to uplift other brothers. And you can uplift other brothers without always having to badger other people to do so. You know what I'm saying? So definitely, Raw L, thanks for those books. I wish I could copy and paste them, but it won't let me do it on my end. But that's fine, because I'm going to screenshot it and everything. So I'll make sure I'll put it up on my community tab, because a lot of people was asking me about these books that Raw L had put out there. So thanks, Raw L. I appreciate that. And mom told you right. As Rael said, my mom always told me to do my own research. And I'm telling you, man, ladies and gentlemen, we got to do that. These YouTube streets, they're going to poison you. They're going to poison your psyche. You're going to be around here holding grudges and having resentment and animosity, all because you're feeding into the wrong information. So just be mindful of that. So anyway, guys, please beware of the pretend pick-me's, those that are cyber harlot caping. And remember, you heard it here first, in case anybody wants to steal it. Yeah, be aware of the cyber harlot caping. Women that are pretending to have the best interest for black men, just so they can get in the black man spaces, just so they can get in the black man panel, the black man platform. Be careful of these pretend pick-me's. There's a high population. You got all of these female subscribers. All of a sudden, now they're trying to start their own content. All of a sudden, now they putting Kevin Samuels' names in a title, and anything where they could earn notoriety off of using his name in their titles. A lot of women are doing this. As soon as you log on, I'm seeing women out of nowhere who was never content creators talking about I agree with Kevin Samuels. That's the title of your video. I agree with Kevin Samuels. Why are you putting his name in there? Because you're not really learning from him, or you're not really listening to anything he's any knowledge that he's given. Not saying that I support Kevin Samuels, not saying I don't support him. I don't listen to him like that. But at the same time, it's not my job to discourage anybody else from listening. But what I'm saying is, a lot of these sisters, they are cyber harlot caping. They're trying to basically co-sign on the narratives of the popular male content creators, because that is their way of getting close to the prize. If y'all felt this way, why didn't y'all do content way before? Way before any of these brothers started coming out about content. While all of a sudden, all these sisters coming out of thin blue air, they agree all of a sudden. And it's a bunch of hogwash, because again, if you agree with somebody's narratives, you don't have to put their name in your video. Their name in your title. There's nothing wrong with saying, okay, I did view this guy's channel. I agreed with a lot of his viewpoints, and that's that. But you got a lot of females on here that's caping. And it's sad that a lot of you brothers, y'all too slow to see that. Y'all too slow and thinking just because a woman agrees with Kevin Samuels, that don't mean she agrees with him. She's telling y'all that because, again, she's trying to win y'all over. It's all game. And then you have some sisters who genuinely, me personally, like I said, I listen to all type of content creators. I just don't listen to one. You know what I mean? So again, I'm gonna get ready to go ahead and shut it down, because I know it's late, y'all. But guys, please be aware of the pretend pick-me's. They are on the loose. These pretend pick-me's are multiplying like roaches. They coming out in the thin blue air. They just everywhere now. I've never seen so many women caping so hard all of a sudden. And then I'm like, the same women are caping. They're the main ones that wouldn't even qualify. Nowhere near 10. You got women over the age of 40 who hit the wall and they want to agree with his viewpoints. You got single mothers want to agree with his viewpoints, and a lot of it is just a bunch of baloney. They only want to agree because they feel like if they agree that they stand a chance of landing that high value man. So it's all just strategy. So again, y'all just, beware the pretend pick me's. So anyway, y'all, I'm gonna get ready to shut it down. Again, I thank everybody for hanging out in my chat room. Before y'all leave, please make sure y'all hit that like button. It's free. It's not gonna cost you anything. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down again. It's your girl, your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha. Remember, I'm gonna always pour you a cup of truth, and I'm gonna always break you off a slice of knowledge. Y'all be blessed. Take care. I'm out. Bye.